What's going on, everyone? My name's Security Denied, and welcome back to the Average Gamer's Perspective on the TWID, also known as This Week in Destiny. This Week in Destiny, we have more details to share from the Edge of Fate. We are getting closer and closer to July 15th, so today we are talking about the incoming weapons tuning, as well as some economy changes. And let's not forget about the developer stream from Tuesday, the gear tiering dev insight article from yesterday, and the other topics you can see below. I'm going to be posting this the day before Tuesday after this week. So, sorry I'm late. 4th of July weekend went crazy and didn't have time to do anything other than party. So, I apologize. But here I am. Let's continue. We had a live stream on Tuesday, a new Ride of the Nine challenge, announcing our world first race hosts. GCX, here we go. Kepler restricted brief. Weapons, power, and economy updates. Destiny 2 open access. Bungie Day is almost here. Thank you for watching. We hope you all enjoyed our second live stream for the Edge of Fate. We covered some of the new activities, rewards, and systemic changes coming in July 15th. We started our stream with the Edge of Fate launch trailer that you can watch just right below. Spooky, right? We covered this trailer in our last video and kind of went over our thoughts and opinions on it and some of our theories about what's going to happen in the Edge of Fate. So head over there and check it out if you haven't already. We covered a lot of topics during our first section: unlockable world tier difficulties for the campaign, side quests that you unlock after completing it, Matterball Banes, a 3-player activity that uses the abilities you unlock in Kepler. The new destination is filled with many secrets, and Guardians are tasked with uncovering all of them and choosing how hard a challenge they want to face. Also, what's going on with all the fungi? Is it fungi or fungi? I've heard two different ways. I'm going to say fungi because it's more fun to say. I do like the what's it called? The new directory, the portal. I like the portal. I think it's really cool. This section down here, though, it feels like a mobile game. You know how mobile games always have like that one rotating activity thing somewhere on the main screen? That's just what this feels like to me. But I mean, that's just me. Let me know if you guys feel the same, but that was my initial thought. Next, we talked in depth about the portal. We have a lot of activities available in our new hub, from Onslaught to some favorite seasonal activities like the Coil. You can choose from a big pool of modifiers to tune the experience and up the challenge in order to get bonus rewards. The goal is to make activities not only more rewarding and personalized, but also to make them easier to understand. There are tons of new ways to enjoy your favorite game with solo ops, fireteam ops, and crucible ops, and also pinnacle ops, plus a section dedicated to activities like exotic missions that will get their unique rewards. To make it easier to understand and follow, we have reworked Guardian ranks to focus on the portal and its activities, which is nice. It's a little more streamlined. It's a little easier to get to rank 11 now, which I am excited for because I don't think I've ever gotten past rank 8. Probably because I don't play a lot, but that just shows you how much of an average gamer I am, right? We also have the new seasonal hub with weekly ranks, daily and weekly challenges, and tons more gear to earn that resets every week if you complete the conquests, also available at this hub, and progress through the different difficulty settings. You will also earn the renewed Conqueror title. Don't worry if you already have gilded it a few times. You will keep your marks. We didn't forget about power in the Edge of Fate. We have a whole section in this TWID about it and many more details, so we'll skip it here. Just keep scrolling and you'll get there. For now, just don't get too worried when you are power level 10 when you start playing our next expansion. Hope this recap of the live stream helped everyone get an understanding of the most relevant topics we covered. If you want the whole picture, though, why not watch the whole stream by yourself? It's right below. Here it is. Ride of the Nine final update. As we move into the final 2 weeks of the Ride of the Nine, we wanted to share some updates coming next week to close with a bang. Do you remember Daybreak? Yeah, the old school modifier where your abilities recharge like crazy. How fun would it be to turn it on for the Explorer mode version of the Ride of the Nine dungeons for this week? Because it's happening right now. Bet your friends, put on some destructive supers, and go farm like mad. Remember that on top of weapons, you can also use your Nonary Manifold to earn Nonary engrams that contain some fan-favorite cosmetics. Additionally, in preparation for the Edge of Fate, 2 Servants of the Nine are bringing gifts to Guardians. Both Zur and the Emissary will have desirable exotics that will be part of the featured gear on day 1 of the new expansion. Bring your strange coins and Nonary Manifolds and snag some loot. As a final reminder, here's the picture for the next 2 weeks. Current week, Prophecy is featured with increased rewards. Until July 15th, players can earn Nonary engrams. Starting July 1st, players may purchase Nonary engrams using 350 Nonary manifolds at the Emissary, up to 20 during Rite of the Nine. Starting July 8th, players will be awarded 1 additional Nonary engram each day just for signing in. Just to be sure, claim it from the Emissary. From July 8th until July 15th, Lootapalooza will begin. Increased currency rewards and weapon drops from enemies in all dungeons. Even more increased loot from the final boss chest when completing all encounters. A new challenge appears. We also have one last Rite of the Nine dungeon hurrah before we dive into our new expansion. The team at Destiny Tracker are running 2 weekends of challenges around Prophecy and Spire of the Watcher to wrap up Rite of the Nine. From July 4th to 6th Pacific Time, complete Prophecy on Eternity mode as fast as you can. From July 11th to 13th Pacific Time, complete Spire of the Watcher as fast as you can. Solo, duo, or with a full fire team, you can win prizes such as silver, one of the 9 exclusive Star Horse-inspired headphone holders fabricated by Henshin Scrap, and a premium Rite of the Nine themed PC unit created by Overkill. Finally, all participants who sign up will receive the 9-crowned emblem. Destiny Tracker will provide more details on how to redeem. For more information around the 2 weekends of challenge, you can refer to Destiny Tracker page here at blanketyblank.com. World's first raid race is back. Guardians, we have a new raid ready for July 19th. And you know what that means. There will be a new world first race where the most capable teams around the globe will conquer contest mode difficulty and fight to be the first team to complete the raid. We're excited to confirm we have partnered once again with the wonderful CB Gray and Evan1997 to bring you the raid race action, live from Bungie HQ this time. Wow, good for them. Stay tuned to next week's TWID for more information on what channels to follow, the schedules, the international hosts we will support, and how you can earn the beautiful Power Hues emblem you can see below. Dang. This is the emblem that you get just for watching? That's pretty sick. I like that. Bungie at GCX. Guardians, were excited to share something special coming your way at GCX 2025. On July 25th from 3 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're hosting an exclusive developer panel that will take you deep into the heart of Destiny 2's storytelling process. Threads of Fate. Exploring Destiny 2's narrative craft will give you an unprecedented look at how one expansion story goes from initial pitch deck all the way through development to launch. With a special focus on the Edge of Fate, you'll get to see behind the curtain of our creative process and discover what it takes to craft the narratives that drive your Guardian's journey. We're thrilled to have Destiny 2 narrative team members Allison Lurs and Hannah Filipski. My brain had an aneurysm. Joining us for this deep dive, these are talented minds behind some of your favorite story moments, and they'll be sharing insights you won't find anywhere else. Our very own DMGO4 will be moderating the discussion, and we've got a special guest lined up that we think you'll love. Find out more about GCX and how you can also score the exclusive flight stick emblem through GCX's channels and website here. Oh, that's pretty sick. That's also a pretty dope emblem. Okay, so we got some more lore. Brief 001. Vanguard, Kepler restricted brief, all points bulletin. Guardian operative. Dispatch contains restricted information for select fire teams and will purge its data upon closure. The House of Exile. Classification: Elixni House. Unknown fungal symbiosis. Hazards: standard Elixni armaments, mines, and traps. Modified armament: strand spear, stasis screen. Heightened reactions and subdued pain response. Telepathically receptive. Intel: House of Exile is a lower house made predominantly from the remains of other houses defeated at Twilight Gap. However, according to the Cryptarchy, the Exile banner predates Twilight Gap, albeit without an official title. It was simply a collection of malcontents outcasts, and, well, exiles during the long drift to Earth from Reese. While many of the exiles reconstituted into a house on the moon, Luna, a subsect of the house broke away prior to the Battle of Twilight Gap, refusing to invade Earth. They retreated to the edge of Sol System to live in peace. The exiles on Kepler are believed to be those defectors. Paracol's weaponry has been encountered. Guardians should take maximum precautions during engagements on Kepler. Select House of Exile armaments have been noted to contain stasis crux cores or compressed strand tangles suspended in a mixture of Elixir technology reminiscent of House Salvation Forces Under the Witness and Unknown Energetic Charge. Hidden log transcript Cha Kep 1024. The following transcripts document the House's acquisition of strand and stasis technology. Oh, sweet. Do you see now the gifts of which I spoke? Here they are set before you, as I foretold. The deathless comes for us, and so the giver arms of our people in defiance. Through time and space I have claimed, at the giver's behest, lost and side-cast technology of our broken siblings on light-conquered worlds. Where they fell, we stand by the will of the giver. Of note, exiles on Kepler seem to have undergone a sort of fungal symbiosis with local fauna. It is unknown why or how this happened, but the fungus appears to feed from the dark matter of the singularity the exiles revere at the heart of Kepler. There appears to be a sort of stylistic hierarchy among the exiles. While it affords no actual authority, the size, shape, and unique features of fungal growth supported on their armor or hosted on their chitin impacts relationships, respect, and clout within the house. So more fungus equals more clout. Time to go get me some mushrooms, I guess. Initial reports suggest the House of Exile was not always hostile and, at one time, even worked alongside the Aeonian population of Kepler. We hope you are enjoying these short lore pieces. More in the coming weeks. We are. By we, I mean me. I like the lore. I like reading it. But I also like experiencing it in the game. So I think this is fun backstory stuff that they're giving us. All right, on to weapon tuning for the Edge of Fate. Hello again from the Destiny 2 Sandbox team. Like most other areas of the game, weapons have gotten many changes in the Edge of Fate, so let's get right to it. Before that, though, a reminder that yesterday we published a Dev Insight article focused on weapons and gear tiering. We hope it helped you understand the new system a bit better and that you can use it as a source of truth moving forward. In case you have not read it yet, here's a link to it. Now let's jump right into the weapon tuning content. Weapon archetypes. Machine guns. We're trying out something new for Destiny on machine guns' staged reloads. Machine guns generally have very long reload animation times that can be very punishing when cancelled. We have added several checkpoints from which the animation can now be resumed if it is interrupted mid-reload. This is a feature we are rolling out on machine guns first, but we plan to expand this to other weapon types in the future. Now have a staged reload. Staged reload places checkpoints in the reload animation. When a player cancels a reload animation and starts it again, it will resume from the last checkpoint. That's huge. That'll be very nice for machine gun users such as myself, because I can't tell you how many times I would be shooting a machine gun, and then I need to reload, but at the same time, I need to melee to get some health or to kill the enemies right in front of me, and then I have to go back to immediately reloading the gun that I need the most from the beginning. And that's very punishing. So this is very, very nice change for machine guns. All right, glaives. The projectile changes for glaives and heresy have been generally very positive for the archetype, but ended up opening up a small window where it was actually a nerf to the weapon's projectile performance, particularly at a short range in PvP. We've made some adjustments to account for this issue. Reduce projectile tracking strength at very close range to avoid a behavior that made the projectiles less accurate. Perks. Reconstruction. Reconstruction has been underperforming on non-rocket launcher weapons since the nerf that increased the time it needs to start filling a weapon's mag. So we're greatly increasing the amount of ammo transferred on each activation. Increase the amount of ammo transferred per activation from 10% to 25%. That's pretty good. It's more than double, which is very good. I think that'll be a good change. Paracausal affinity. We generally think it's pretty important for players to be able to anticipate when a damage buff is going to expire, since having one active or not is something players are often making heat of the moment gameplay decisions about. Added a visible timer to the buff. Very good. I don't use paracausal affinity very much, but it must be nice for those that do. Kinetic tremors. Kinetic tremors feels good to use on faster firing weapon frames, but it can underperform a bit on slower firing ones. Decrease shots to activate on certain weapons and subfamilies. High impact auto rifles require 9 hits down from 12. Aggressive and high impact scout rifles require 5 hits down from 6. Hand cannon subframes have received specific tuning. Aggressive hand cannons require 4 hits down from 6. Adaptive hand cannons require 5 hits down from 6. Precision hand cannons are unchanged and still require 6 shots to activate. That's fine. I think that makes sense. 1-2 punch. This was covered in our 619 TWID on melee changes, but we're copying it here for posterity. Now works with all melee abilities. Perk active time increase from 1.22 seconds to 3 seconds. Very nice. Attrition Orbs. Attrition Orbs is currently too powerful on area denial grenade launchers, but it's somewhat underwhelming on other weapon types. Increase perk progress by 20% across the board. Reduce perk progress by 80% with area denial grenade launchers. This is surprisingly not as noticeable as it sounds. Increase perk progress by an additional 30% on swords. Fair enough, makes sense to me. Eager Edge and Valiant Charge. Eager Edge's aggressive target tracking presents 2 problems. It makes it more frustrating to use this perk for mobility in PvE, and it makes somewhat oppressive in PvP. Valiant Charge has some similar issues. It can track to unintended targets relatively often, which undercuts some of the riposte fantasy that the perk functionality suggests. While active, melee search angle is now reduced from 50% at the start of a lunge range and by 88% at the edge of lunge range. This requires the player to look more at the target to strike it, improving specific target acquisition in PvE and requiring a more direct look in PvP. I like this change. I can't tell you how many times like an Eager Edge just comes out of nowhere when somebody is looking the opposite direction and just absolutely decks me with an Eager Edge sword, so I think this will be a nice change. Chain Reaction. As fun as the Chain Reaction plus Hatchling interaction is, it is inconsistent with other perk combinations, which are generally not allowed to chain explosions together. It's important to be as consistent as possible when we handle these interactions. We don't want our player's ability to tell if a weapon roll is good or not to be dependent on knowing which perks chain with each other and which don't when it's not listed in the game. Threadlinks created by weapon perks will no longer activate the detonation from Chain Reaction. Chain Reaction, Dragonfly, Firefly. These perks currently deal different amounts of damage to different targets based on the type of weapon that activates the perk. In many cases, this makes these perks even worse on weapons that do not use them well in the first place. It's harder to get a precision kill with a submachine gun than it is a hand cannon, but Dragonfly also deals less damage when a submachine gun activates it. We want perks to feel stronger on different weapon types for obvious reasons, such as how often a weapon gets precision kills rather than unintuitive ones. Chain Reaction, Dragonfly, and Firefly no longer use weapon archetype scaling against combatants, instead use a new perk damage scaling that is more normalized between different weapon types. This buffs many weapons with these perks against most targets. Here's some of the biggest winners from this change. Fusion rifles deal 41% more chain reaction damage to minor combatants. Submachine guns deal 43% more Dragonfly and Firefly damage to minor combatants. Auto rifles deal 47% more Dragonfly damage to minor combatants. Linear fusion rifles deal 165% more chain reaction damage to minor combatants, and at least 124% more chain reaction to all other non-combatants, or other combatants, very slightly based on the combatant type. Swords deal 123% more chain reaction damage to minor combatants and at least 193% more chain reaction damage to all other combatants, very slightly based on combatant type. In the interest of transparency, we want to call out 3 instances where this change results in a nerf of at least 5% decreased damage. We do not expect any of these to have serious impacts on balance or perk desirability. Hand cannons deal 20% less dragonfly and firefly damage to major combatants. Sniper rifles deal 8% less dragonfly and firefly damage to minor combatants. Special ammo waveframe grenade launchers deal 6% less chain reaction damage to major, champion, and mini boss combatants, and 14% less chain reaction damage to ultra and vehicle combatants. Makes sense to me. Champion interaction changes. In Season 20, we added the ability for subclass verbs, ignition, jolt, suppression, etc., to stun champions, and have since added these verbs to weapon traits and various exotic weapons through rebalances. We quickly realized these weapons had issues when paired with anti-champion effects from sources like the artifact or radiant. To prevent erratic behavior, we barred certain exotics from gaining external anti-champion capabilities. It has become unclear to the player which exotic weapons are excluded, so we decided to address this issue formally. Makes sense. We don't want any doubling up happening with one weapon being able to do everything. We have now made certain exotic weapons, most of which applied a subclass verb through gameplay, intrinsically anti-champ, and will adhere to the following soft rule from now on. Weapons that intrinsically have the anti-champion symbol in the weapon tray cannot receive anti-champion capabilities from the artifact or from radiant-like effects. Otherwise, they can receive external anti-champion capabilities and be able to continue their subclass verb anti-champ capabilities. Alright, here we go. Exotic weapons. Vigilance Wing. Vigilance Wing's exotic trait, Last Stand, felt left behind by things like the Alacrity Origin trait. So we have made a change that will allow it to be active when running solo in PvE activities. Last Stand bonus is now active when running solo in PvE activities. I've heard a lot of buffs for Hierarchy of Needs. Hierarchy of Needs is a cool weapon that currently restricts the player's actions too much. We wanted to increase flexibility with the weapon while keeping its fantasy intact, and while we were at it, we let it interact with other bows wielded by your allies or yourself. Players now gain charges of Guidance Ring with any hit from Hierarchy of Needs, and now only need 3 charges to deploy the ring. Hierarchy's spawned Guidance Ring duration increased from 13 seconds to 20 seconds. Hierarchy's spawned Guidance Ring now rotates to face its owner. So I'm guessing that, it's because it's the ring that's rotating to face you, it means it's not going to move with you. It's just going to rotate to face you. So, if you shoot it and then you have to walk around it to have it face you the whole time, it's not gonna stay in your circle as you look around. So I guess that's a good change. All bows can now spawn missiles when fired through an allied player's guidance ring. Yes, all bows. That includes Levy's Breath. It's like a better Gallarhorn. If one person is rocking Hierarchy of Needs and everyone else is rocking Levy's Breath, they're probably going to be outputting a ton of damage. And it's going to last for 20 seconds instead of 13, so it could be good. I don't know, we'll have to do some damage testing. By we, I mean Asdacross. You better try out what this bow can do. Fixed an issue where Hierarchy's Seeker missiles would not play detonation visual effects when colliding with world geometry. Dead Man's Tale. Dead Man's Tale has developed a reputation in the Crucible over its years in-game, but has always struggled a bit in PvE. We've made some adjustments to help it cancel out its long reload time and reward players more for landing their headshots. Each stack of Cranial Spike now grants 3.4% damage versus combatants, max 17% at 5 stacks, plus 1 rounds reloaded. Sounds pretty good. Sounds like it's about to do a lot of damage and reloading more to fire more. Duality. The previous set of changes to Duality were good, but it didn't do quite as much as we were hoping. We've relaxed the trigger on its trait perk to allow it to ramp into good single target damage more consistently. Added a secondary activator for on black wings, now gives the buff where landing most of your pellets on a target. But Duality has fallen behind as an exotic shotgun, especially when Lord of Wolves exists in the world, and it has always been strong. The Navigator. The Navigator is an interesting exotic, but has felt a bit one trick for its woven mail and tangle creation. We've added a bonus to the weapon while the wielder has woven mail to let it excel while you are using it for its original purpose. When the user has woven mail, increased damage plus 25% in PvE, 5% in PvP. Increased ammo generation stat. I'm going to have to try this weapon out in next season with my Strand Hunter build. See if I can get, because I like the tangle creation for it, but also like woven mail is pretty good at keeping you alive. Wicked Implement. We've shifted Wicked Implement to a faster fire rate to better align with its gameplay fantasy. With our recent changes to how Stasis interacts with champions, we've also made Wicked Implement to be anti-overload intrinsically to align with Stasis's role in the sandbox. Now is rapid fire RPM, now takes one additional hit to start slowing and to freeze to account for the faster fire rate. Increased magazine size to 20 is now intrinsically anti-overload. Pretty good change. I think Wicked Implement needed a faster fire rate, and so hopefully it'll feel a lot better to activate its perks and things like that. So Heart Shadow, a big constrictor for a lot of heavy swords is just how fast they chew through their ammo. It makes it hard to choose when and where to use them, especially for a weapon like Heart Shadow that very much wants you to use it to clear out chaff by peeking in and out of invisibility. So with these changes, we've leaned harder into that fantasy. Increased ammo reserves, reduced cost of heavy attack to 3 from 4, added defeats while shot in the dark is active, makes you invisible once more. You get to stay invisible for longer, more often, and you can attack more. Pretty good change. Worldline Zero, one of my favorite swords to use, but definitely has fallen. Worldline has been a fun sword to play with, but has largely fallen out of favor since it lost its ability to let you skate, alongside the introduction of Eager Edge. To give it a more defined niche, we are leaning into its Tesseract ability, emphasizing ad clear via rapid, nimble teleports. Increase lunge distance of the heavy Tesseract attack by 3 meters. Remove the ability to chain 2 blink attacks back to back. Added a new effect, defeating a target with Tesseract allows you to Tesseract again for a short duration. These extra blink attacks cost less ammo and consumes less guard energy. That's pretty good. So you get a kill, you can do it again. Just boom, 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 boom. A Devil's Ruin. Devil's Ruin is another exotic that has felt a bit one trick for a long time now. We have reworked the weapon to remove its fire on release behavior, as well as making the beam mode more of a reward once it has been enabled. Removed fire on release behavior. Beam is now behind special reload. Kills with the weapon makes fire sprites, and picking up fire sprite enable the special reload. Beam now scorches on hit and ignites on kills. Increased magazine size to 20 is now intrinsically anti-unstoppable. Holy crap, I can't say that word. But I think Devil's Ruin is going to be super goated and necessary for the new Titan builds because it pairs with the new exotic, where when you pick up a fire sprite, then you get a buff that'll allow you to call back your hammer. So I think Devil's Ruin could be a good choice for those builds. Tommy's Matchbook. Tommy's Matchbook runs into issues with survivability and overall usability. These changes focus on improving that experience, allowing players to maintain ignition trigger even if they stop shooting for a moment, and providing intrinsic avenues to heal back lost health without completely removing build crafting potential. We also wanted to provide a higher incentive for players to hip fire this weapon and improve how self-damage is communicated to the user and to other players. General. Added a burning screen effect while the player takes self-damage from the ignition trigger. Other players who are taking self-damage from ignition trigger will now have a burning effect surrounding their model. Ignition trigger. The HUD buff now appears as a bar. While ignition trigger is active, the bar charges as you fire the weapon and drains when you don't. So long as the bar has some charge, ignition trigger will remain active. Heatsink. Hip fire self-damage decreased from 50% less damage than ADS self-damage, previously 33% less damage. Catalyst, removed improved health regen. Now, final blows with ignition trigger is active, grant cure ×1 to the user. Scorch on hit is unchanged. That cure is going to be so good. Like, if you're just looking to spray and pray ads and just become ad clear menace, like, you're going to stay alive because of that cure. And you'll be able to keep ignition trigger active for a lot longer. So, good change for Tommy's matchbook. Maybe I'll use it. I don't know. We'll see. Winter Bite. With the massive update to how melee damage works, this always on effect on Winter Bite ended up being a bit too much free damage, especially in comparison to swords. Swords. Like we can implement, Winter Bite will now be intrinsically anti-overload to align with the changes made to Stasis, Shatters, Champion, Stunning. Ka-champion. Ka-champion. Reduced enhanced melee damage with ammo to 20% versus bosses down from 50%. This is to account for this now being able to receive melee damage bonuses from a variety of sources. It is now intrinsically anti-overload. I don't have Winter Bite, so I don't know, so let me know. Anti-champion changes. The following weapons have not been rebalanced, but have been given anti-champion capabilities intrinsically. Anti-unstoppable. Queensbreaker, huge. Dragon's Breath, solid. Anti-overload, Tractor Cannon, Darcy, Two-Tailed Fox, Salvation's Grip. I think that's pretty smart. Honestly, I think Two-Tailed Fox should be the only one that has the ability to do more than one because it fires 3 different elements. And I think that would make it more viable to use. Like, it's one of the rocket launchers that deals less damage because it fires so many rockets. And I know that each of them do their own like elemental thing, but honestly, I think intrinsically, like, it should have the 2 modes for like maybe do overload and freaking unstop. And then if you have the catalyst, it'll also add the 3rd rocket, which will do barrier. I think it would make it a lot more viable, especially it being a rocket launcher. I think that I think it's worth it for that one, at least from my point of view. That's just me. Conditional finality can be anti-overload or anti-unstoppable depending on which element is active. See, like, honestly, I think Two-Tailed Fox should be similar to conditional finality because of its multiple elemental shots. Regarding PvP, for those of you looking for PvP tuning numbers, we're aware of the math in terms of balancing around fixed health values and the new weapon stat damage bonuses. We have our finger on the trigger and are aimed at a number of targets, but we want to make sure the weapons and perks we choose to tune actually become balance issues, instead of preemptively nerfing a bunch of builds or playstyles before you are even able to try them out. I like that. Once it is known how realistic it is to achieve certain stat combos and what trade-offs those stat splits enforce, we'll have a more complete picture to determine how problematic these builds actually are in the Crucible. We'll be watching and gathering your feedback, and we are standing by ready to adjust as necessary in near future updates. Sounds good to me. I like that they're just letting us experience it and the overpowered metas as we play. Power in the Edge of Fate. With the remaining of Destiny 2's core game experience comes a refreshed version of player power. We've overhauled how you earn power and what it means to your journey across the season to be more meaningful experience. We've also removed weekly barriers and are giving you more agency in choosing how you want to level up. Earning power will be more intuitive than ever before, with most activities even offering a reward forecast that enables you to plan your rewards, increase your power by overcoming greater challenges, and earn higher tiers of both armor and weapons that come with additional stats and benefits. Refreshing power. The first thing you'll notice when you log into the Edge of Fate is the power refresh. Power inflation over the years has created huge numbers that can be confusing and unintuitive, particularly for new and returning players. When the Edge of Fate releases on July 15th, power will be refreshed to start at 10 for a much cleaner and more intuitive experience. Legacy power will still be visible on the power tooltip shown when you hover over your power number on your character screen, if you want to know what your power would be in the old system. Power band. In the updated power band from 10 to 200, power will work as it traditionally did when playing up to the previous soft cap. You'll see progress just by finding gear across whatever you want to play. From the new Edge of Fate expansion to PvP to patrolling your favorite classic destination, playing activities on the portal will offer increased progression, while completing missions and finding secret chests in Fate Saga expansions will offer the fastest progression. Makes sense, they want you to play the new stuff. Lots of activity content will exist in the Power Band, including the entire The Edge of Fate expansion pack, event activities, all legacy content, and even the new redacted raid. So excited for the raid. I think they're learning a lot from our experiences, and I hope that the raid kicks it back into gear. While these activities won't ask you to earn more than 200 power to play at max effectiveness, they may offer rewards above 200 when played at harder difficulties. More on that later. During the climb to the power cap of 200, you will be able to earn Tier 1, Tier 2, and even the occasional Tier 3 drops. This gear is as strong as legendary or even adept weapons from before the Edge of Fate. Your progress up to the power cap will also stick around into the new season when Destiny 2 Renegades releases in December, giving you consistent access to gear as strong as or even better than what you're used to, as well as tons of activities to play. So power cap is 200, and at that point you'll be consistently earning Tier 3 drops, I think. At least I hope that's the case, because getting 4 and 5, like if it's rare to get Tier 3, like 4 and 5 is going to be. And honestly, what I think they should do is I want them to bring back the feeling we used to get when exotics would drop, and it was like, holy crap, I got an exotic. 1 in 200 chance of getting a exotic to drop, you know, just outrageous numbers, and it was super rare. Like, I want that feeling back, but make it so that exotics drop at Tier 5. Like, make it the rarest thing that you can get, right? Like, if you get an exotic, you're like, holy crap, like I just got an exotic. Like, make them exciting again. Like, yeah, I know I got an exotic, and I know it's going to be Tier 5. It is going to be so good. I don't know how tuning for that is going to work, or what it's going to include. Like, just make them rare, but give them a little more oomph. Make them feel more exotic-y and like a reason to run the exotics, at least in my mind. Seasonal bonus power. Since Shadowkeep, the seasonal artifacts has offered a way to increase your power above the power cap through artifact bonus power. While this was a great way to get an advantage in high power activities, it wasn't consistent with finding new, better gear, driven instead by XP, and incentivized behaviors like bounty farming, and didn't quite focus on overcoming new and greater challenges. In the Edge of Fate, seasonal bonus power will now live right on your weapons and armor instead of the seasonal artifact. By overcoming harder challenges in PvE as customized by you, or challenging yourself in competitive and trials for PvP, you can earn gear with greater amounts of seasonal bonus power that will increase your level beyond the power cap. Here's an example. Holy crap, it's blurry as crap. All right, so you see that right there? Here's like the 200 plus 100 seasonal bonus power. You're going to be looking for that power. It also tells you what the legacy power value is down here, so you can get an idea of what it looks like. There are no longer weekly limits on how much progress you can earn either, so your power can climb as far as so your power can climb for as long as you want to play. Just like artifact bonus power before it, these seasonal bonus power levels are limited to the current season, and any weapons or armor above the power cap will be back to 200 at the start of the next season. Bonus power and rewards. As with the climb to the power cap of 200, by increasing your power level further with seasonal bonus power, you will be able to earn even higher tiers of armor and weapons with even greater benefits. When the Edge of Fate first launches, you will be able to increase your power as much as a total of 450. Earning high enough grades from portal activities can give consistent growth all the way to 400. Total power 400 to 450 rewards will at first come from newly upgraded prime engrams, which drop with both higher power and higher great gear tier than your regular rewards. Achieving higher grades in portal activities improves your chances of finding prime engrams, which are also no longer limited by week. That's very nice. With the Ash and Iron major update later this season, you will be able to earn total power all the way to 550. Regular rewards from portal activities will be able to drop up to 500 total power, and Prime Engrams will again award gear up to the hard cap of 550. Those who reach 500 power will be rewarded with regular drops of the highest tier of weapons and armor. Tier 5, this gear comes with both unique aesthetic qualities and highest stats, so being able to consistently farm them will be an aspirational journey for the most ambitious Guardians. Alright, so they're bringing the grind back, baby. Hopefully that's a good thing, because I like it being grindy, I like working for things, but if it just gets too much and too tedious of doing the same things over and over and over again, just trying to get better gear, it gets monotonous, boring, and I just don't want to do it anymore. Like, my desire to get that new weapon, gone. So it needs to be a grind, but a uniquely challenging grind to keep me invested and engaged week to week, day to day, whatever. You know, that's kind of what we need from a grind perspective. And make sure to regularly check what's going on in the portal. Challenges on the seasonal hub page and events will both be a great way to get some bonus power progression. Infusion. Infusion is a great way to increase the power of your favorite items, but needing a constant supply of upgrade modules to do it was a hassle. We're simplifying Infusion to instead use enhancement cores directly, so you no longer need to make constant trips to Banshee. Any upgrade modules you may have in your inventory at the start of Edge of Fate can be safely dismantled to reclaim 5,000 Glimmer and 1 enhancement core, the same price that Banshee 44 and 801 sold them for. Oh boy, so what's the use? Like, Banshee has just lost all of his purpose. There's like nothing for him. What I think they should do is just give him like legacy art, like legacy weapons from different seasons, because there are some weapons that I've been saving my what are they called? Whatever the crafting modules are that you can get a pattern out of it. I've been waiting for one for so long to get the craftable weapon, but it just never pops up. And so I think that'll be a good way to update Banshee, is letting you purchase old legacy gear from him. Maybe perhaps at a higher price of Glimmer to make Glimmer a little bit more meaningful of a currency. So you can infuse levels of seasonal bonus power into your favorite gear using a new currency called Unstable Cores. While you'll find unstable cores from a variety of sources, the primary way to acquire them is by dismantling unneeded gear that has seasonal bonus power levels. The higher the bonus power of the item you dismantle, the greater the number of unstable cores you'll receive. Likewise, infusing items with a larger difference in bonus power levels will take more unstable cores. Unstable cores will have a large inventory cap and will be refreshed at the start of the next season alongside seasonal bonus power. Alright, quality of life. With the Edge of Fate, the power climb should be more intuitive than ever before. Seasonal bonus power offers a refreshed player journey for the highest tiers of gear every season while keeping numbers understandable and meaningful. The reward forecast for many activities will preview exactly what power your reward will be when you reach the target score. With the new core game modifier system, you can even curate what kind of challenge you're in for, allowing everyone's power journey to be uniquely tailored to how they want to play. Portal content will also feature new daily bonus focus rewards across both PvE and PvP, which allow you to target earning power on gear for a specific slot that you might be missing to round out your average. Both account-wide power progression and fireteam power introduced in the final shape will be sticking around as well, so your progress will carry over to all your characters and you can always play with your friends. Economy updates in the Edge of Fate. In the Edge of Fate, we're taking a deep look at our core game activities, in-game economies, and rebuilding them along with the rest of the game. Core game activities, Solo Ops, Fireteam Ops, Pinnacle Ops, Crucible, and Trials of Osiris will be your primary source of Glimmer, Strange Coins, and Masterwork materials. These rewards will scale alongside your gear, with better rewards coming from higher difficulty content. As you can see below, a lot is changing with this release and will continue to evolve over the coming seasons based on your feedback and analytics. Please keep it coming. I will. as long as you watch my videos. Thank you very much. Armor Masterworking. Along with Armor 3.0, Masterworking new pieces of armor will have their costs change depending on the tier of the armor piece. In the Edge of Fate reveal stream, we mentioned that armor now drops with energy completely filled in, so players can begin to build craft immediately. With armor mods, Masterworking armor is now focused on increasing stats. If you want to reach your full stat potential, you'll want to fully masterwork your armor. The higher the tier, the more it costs. We want players to be able to engage with Masterwork systems without them worrying about wasting materials on lower tier gear. Additionally, armor now has 5 Masterwork levels rather than 10. If you notice the cost of tier 5 in the table below, don't worry just yet. We're rebalancing the distribution of Masterworking materials pretty dramatically when the Edge of Fate arrives. Enhancement prisms will become a bit more common than they were previously to better fit their role between enhancement cores and ascendant shards. In core game activities, you'll also have a chance for major enemies to drop materials such as masterwork materials, maybe even some other goodies. Here's a table with the cost of masterworking every tier of armor. I know you can't read this, the numbers are freakishly small, but like I got all the numbers. I don't know if you can read it, but I don't want to read all that because that's a lot of numbers to go over. Note these changes apply only to new armor. Weapon masterworking is unchanged from how it worked previously, even if it may be revisited in a future release. Destination materials. Destination materials, which stop dropping from resource nodes starting with the Witch Queen, and later only granted Glimmer and or Reputation, will be fully deprecated when the Edge of Fate arrives. Master Rahul will no longer accept destination materials, and they will no longer have any value. This is the list of materials that can safely be deleted after July 15th. Finest Matter Weave, Dustlike Shard, Microfastic Data Lettuce, Barian Bow, Helium Filament, Glacial Starwort, Spin Metal Leaves. So, destination materials, out of there, because they never held any value at all. Activity reward changes. Vanguard Ops Onslaught. Onslaught has been rebuilt to be part of the core game activity engine and will drop new tiered rewards. That means the older gear, the Brave Arsenal, needs to be moved to a different place so the loot pool only offers the new gear. Brave Arsenal weapons will be moved to be part of Xur's wares. Only the standard non-foil versions of these weapons will be available. Zavala will no longer offer Onslaught attunement. Nightfalls. While Nightfalls will remain accessible from World Tab in the Edge of Fate, they will no longer work on a weekly rotator, but on a daily one, and will include all current Nightfall strikes and battlegrounds. This required some changes to how the loot pool was delivered. Nightfall weapons are now legacy gear. Nightfall loot pool will be updated to include all previous Nightfall weapons that have origin traits. Nightfall rewards are on a knockout list until all Nightfall weapons have been unlocked. From then on, all Nightfall weapons have a flat drop chance. Grandmaster Nightfalls no longer exist as their purpose and function have been transferred to the portal screen and conquests. You will still experience Grandmaster difficulty, just in other activities. So Grandmaster Nightfalls, slashed, deleted, gone. All of your love and experience with Grandmaster Nightfalls just got deleted in one bullet point. Sorry, not sorry. I never really did Grandmaster Nightfalls, so this is a great change for me. Legacy Rituals, Crucible Gambit, Vanguard Ops. Activities that don't offer tiered gear required some adjustments in the new system. Ritual Reputation reward tracks have been removed. Ritual engrams have been removed. Legacy focusing remains, but costs have been updated with the removal of ritual engrams. Legacy armor and legacy weapons will cost 15,000 Glimmer, 3 enhancement cores. Vendors and reputation rank tracks. When you start playing the Edge of Fate, you'll notice the vendor reputation system has been removed from vendors in the tower, with the exception of Hawthorne. This new approach comes hand in hand with a rebalance of rewards throughout the game. Without going into too much detail, we can say that removing these reputation tracks allows us to be more rewarding with currencies and gear that drops from activities. With that in mind, here's a list of additional changes coming to a fistful of vendors with the new expansion. We hope it helps you understand their new duties. Alright, Xur. He has a lot of changes. Xur will not sell legendary armor in the Edge of Fate. All of Xur's legendary armors will move to Ada 1, where she will sell them for cosmetic purposes. Xur will now sell 2 exotic armor pieces per class per week. One will be from the existing pool of exotics that Xur has always sold. Okay, I feel like this has happened several times in this TWID. If you are a puzzle maniac who likes to scour for hidden secrets, take a look at these random capital letters that I've been finding. I've only really noticed 2, but still, there could be more, and I've just looked over them. Or they're just really bad at typing. One will be from the Beyond Light Witch Queen, Lightfall, and Final Shape pools. Players must own the expansion these exotics are associated with in order to purchase them from Xur. Xur will continue to sell catalysts, but they have been moved to the Strange Gears Offers submenu. Xur will sell exotic class items every week. Players still need to acquire the exotic class item from Dual Destiny or Festival of the Lost. Is that what that is? I think that's what it is. Before Xur will allow players to purchase exotic class items. Xur will sell 9 legendary weapons per week, 3 weapons per slot. Class-specific swords, which aren't class-specific anymore, are still in Xur's inventory, but will not be available every week. Xur has had Brave Arsenal weapons added to his inventory. Xur has had Legacy, Nightfall, and Trials weapons added to his inventory. Rare chance at Adept weapons showing up. Standard weapons will cost 17 strange coins. Adept weapons will cost 41 strange coins. Xur has had weapons from Echoes, Revenant, and Heresy added to his inventory. Rare chances at Adept Heresy weapons. Standard weapons will cost 17 strange coins. Adept weapons will cost 41 strange coins. Xur has had Legacy Comp Crucible weapons added to his inventory. Xur will no longer sell Nightfall Ciphers, Gambit Engrams, Crucible Engrams, Vanguard Engrams, upgrade modules. Sounds good to me. Alright, Ada 1 also has a good amount of changes. We have already covered Ada 1's new duties in previous TWIDs, but let's have a reminder. Ada will be offering up to 20 Threader bounties per season per class. Ada's inventory of Legacy armor has been expanded to include armors previously distributed via Xur. Legacy armor will cost 50,000 Glimmer 3 enhancement cores. Ada will offer players who have made it to the tower for the first time before the Edge of Fate a bundle of exotic armor tokens to be used to roll for exotic armors with the new stat packages. Players must have unlocked an item in collections before it is eligible for rerolls on Ada 1. These tokens are a one-time offer. These offers will disappear from Ada when all tokens have been spent. New armors will be added to this in the future, so there's no benefit to hoarding tokens. Transmog bounties have been overhauled. PvE bounties that can be completed anywhere in PvE activities no longer sends players to specific destinations, i.e. Blind Well, Altars of Sorrow. PvP bounties that can be completed in any PvP mode, Crucible, Trials, etc. Raids and dungeons unchanged from previous version. Banshee 44, the Gunsmith. Reputation rank reward track has been removed. Bounties no longer provide gunsmith reputation. Dismantling gear no longer provides gunsmith reputation. Banshee will no longer sell upgrade modules. Gunsmith engrams have been removed from the game. Legacy weapons will cost 15,000 Glimmer, 3 enhancement cores. Kind of boring. He does nothing now. Good for him, I guess. Rahul the Cryptarch. Cryptarch reputation ranks have been removed. New exotic armors in the Edge of Fate will be unlocked via completing the legendary campaign and not through Rahul, unlocked per class. Novel focusing for exotic armors from past expansions will be available to players immediately with no need to decrypt engrams to unlock it. Costs remain the same for novel focusing. Focusing submenu has been reordered to put the most used screens up front. Ghost mods. As we enter the world of Armor 3.0, where new stats have replaced some old ones, we need to make adjustments to ghost mods, as some stats are no longer available and new ones have taken their spot. Similar situation with Nightfalls and other activities that have become legacy content. Having mods for not up-to-date gear doesn't feel that rewarding, so we are removing those mods. Previous armor and ghost mods, resistance armor, will be deprecated. They no longer match the stats on armors post V900. They are replaced with a new set of armor ghost mods. Some activity ghost mods have been deprecated. We plan to add new activity ghost mods in a future release. Osirian ciphers and Nightfall ciphers will not have a use in the Edge of Fate, but they will remain in your inventory, and we are not deleting them. We have plans for them in Destiny 2 Renegades, and we will tell you all about it when our plans are more advanced. Destiny 2 expansion open access. Do you have a few friends interested in Destiny but that hesitate to make the jump? Good news, let them know about the Destiny 2 open access weeks. Starting July 8th, that's next Tuesday, or tomorrow for me, until July 22nd. All currently available Destiny 2 expansions will be available for free on all supported platforms: PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, Microsoft Store, Epic Games Store. Additionally, all 3 currently available episodes will also be free for all support platforms until July 15th. And the cherry on top, all the currencies, gear, title, triumphs, and cosmetics earned during the open access period are yours to keep. Holy cow! I don't think they've ever done this, but this is crazy. If you are looking to play the game or to get into the game, and you're just an average gamer who's like, yeah, I've heard of Destiny, never really tried it, but I want to give it a shot, now's your chance. Starting tomorrow until July 22nd, you could just play the game for free as much as you can cram into that time frame, and you get to keep all of the rewards, which is crazy. So yeah, hop on in and play some Destiny. It's a good time over here. It's almost Bungie Day. We draw closer to that lucky 7. Last week we covered some of our Bungie Day plans in partnership with the Bungie Foundation, as part of their continuing mission to help reduce distress and suffering in children through entertainment, and to partner with humanitarian aid organizations in times of natural disaster and crisis. The team is here to talk about the 7th Column Chaos. More info here. We also partnered with Twitch's Summer of Rewards campaign to bring you some fresh new emblems on the road to launch from 12 a.m. Pacific time on July 7th. Bungie Day, yay, until 12 a.m. Pacific time on July 15th. Gift a sub in the Destiny 2 category to receive a pixel perfect emblem. That's pretty sick. You get the classic OG Destiny 1 ship with the Traveler and the portal open in the background and some fancy space dust, and that's pretty cool. I like it. Last but not least, on the lookout for Bungie Day sale starting 7/7 at 10 a.m. PST on Bungie Store, where we'll have all new exciting savings, retired rewards, and much more. Follow Bungie Store on Twitter or Instagram so you don't miss out on the latest updates. Cool. And that is the entirety of the TWID. That was a lot to cover, lots of changes, lots of systemic changes, lots of weapon changes, and how they're going to interact in the world, and how you're going to be upgrading them. It's a lot. But it's cool. I'm glad that they're doing this now because they are rebuilding their entire foundation. They gutted everything up, started reinforcing the hell out of their foundation of the game, and hopefully it turns out well. Hopefully it turns out good in their favor. I really think that Renegades needs flavor. It needs visual spice. It needs a new gameplay spice, evolution spice, like something to like pique our interest in our eyes. Because this one definitely is not that, but it's piquing systemic changes. Like, I love the feeling of playing a new game. I loved Destiny 2 because of how different it felt. I love playing Forsaken because of how different it felt. The whole game just felt different. And I think this is the biggest change they have ever done in Destiny 2 to the actual system and the gameplay mechanics. So I think it's really good. I'm really excited because hopefully it'll feel like a new game and something that I'm interested in playing. I'm working really hard this week. I have been grinding work so I can afford this game because I want to play it. I want to play it so bad, just to get that feeling of newness and experience the new story. And so I can also share it with you guys, because I want to do this more. I want to be able to post more, and I think Destiny is a great way to start. I've always loved Destiny, and I was always tell people that if I was to record and post about a game, this would be the game. So thank you all for coming and watching the Average Gamer's perspective on This Week in Destiny. It has been an honor. My name is Security Denied. Make sure to subscribe and hit the like button if you haven't already. Also, I do stream sometimes occasionally on Twitch if you want to head over there and give me a follow. The more people I have over there, the more likely I am to stream some more. So if you're also interested in watching me just do these live, let me know, because I've been considering doing these on live streams, but I don't know. Just let me know down in the comment section down below. Thank you all for coming and watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!